everybody. My name is Alan. On behalf of the crew, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. You know, for us, this is really a special day, and we ask you to come and celebrate with us. Celebrate the glory of this human life, the magic of being alive, the magic of us being here together on this extraordinary planet. And for us at Bridging, it's a special milestone. I mean, we've done 199 shows, and this is the 200th. And in this day and age, with all volunteers, through 12 years of different places doing it, with some different crews, some people have been here almost the whole time. We've done 199, and now this is the 200th show. And in this day and age, with all the craziness and all the separation and all the division and the wars and the ethnic cleansings and the suicide bombings, the fact that this show, dedicated to the love and dedicated to the oneness, has gone on and grown is just, really, I've said this to a bunch of people today, is a miracle. So this is a celebration of all of us, of all the efforts made throughout the world to make Bridging prosper, to make Bridging send that vibration out stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. From the first show on, the motto has been dedicated to the oneness, dedicated to the love. And really, that's been our intent. And we know it's time to stop. I mean, as we speak, we know that somewhere on this planet, there's horrors going on. Human against human, human against animal, human against nature, humans against themselves. And we know it has to end, it has to stop, it has to come to a celebration of our lives, of our connection to the one, and the knowing that we're all that same love. That in all the religions and all the cultures, there's something about that somebody in that culture, in that religion, has experienced that true love. And the root of all that is that experience of what people call God. And we know we need to have it. And anything else is just too stupid, too old, too redundant, too negative, too oppressive. And the love is so strong. I mean, through the thin veil of the illusion of our separation is the truth of our oneness. And we need to celebrate the glory of being in a human body, celebrate the glory and the joyousness of us coming together, and truly coming together in collaborative efforts, in creative collaborative efforts, to share that experience of being alive. There's so much opportunity on this planet for us to come together joyously and lovingly and create music, create art, create television, create movies, create love, create children, create gardens of Eden with the beautiful oceans and animals and mountains and trees and rivers that we've been given. How can we destroy one more moment, one more opportunity to know that truth? And yet, up until this moment, all of us have to some extent or another, all of us have forgotten. But if this 200th show of Bridging Heaven and Earth means anything, it should mean a time for celebration, a time for the celebration of the miracle of this life. I mean, I probably said it 3 or 4 times maybe, but it really is an opportunity for us. And time and again, we know that is what the purpose of this life is to feel love and share it, to know that experience and to vibrate it, to manifest it. And so, again, someone whose life is dedicated to that has made extraordinary effort, has come, and we do the show, as you know, in California, has flown in from Fairfield, Iowa, basically just to do the Bridging Heaven and Earth show, just to celebrate with you their experience of love, of truth, of oneness, of the magic, of the mystery of this extraordinary life. Gloria Wendroff just a great friend of mine personally, of Bridging Heaven and Earth. And her life is, for the last 25 years or so, has been at the beginning, it was a search for that love, for that knowing, for that recognition. And then through an extraordinary series of events with movies, with pictures, something almost, you would say, unbelievable became real for her. And then she started scribing these God writings, these heaven letters. And day after day after day, these extraordinary writings come through her that speak to the love, that speak to the oneness, that speak to the magic, that speak to the truth. And that's what her life is dedicated to have that message, to speak that message, to go wherever that message wants to be heard, to do workshops so other people can experience that she's having. She's written an extraordinary book called Heaven Letters, Love Letters from God, Book 1, and there's probably more and more of those books available. Every morning, one of those letters is available. Every morning, one of those letters is in my email box to read. And I can't tell you how many of those are unbelievably inspiring, unbelievably touching. And we also have in tonight's show 2 beautiful videos from people who also were touched, also knew that love, also knew that magic. And we have Kate Wolf, one of her songs are extraordinary. She lived too short a life in this human form, but in that short life, she came out with some extraordinary songs. And we also have some music from the Village people, the Rainbow people, rather. They come together, not these same people, but these Rainbow people come together every year to celebrate that love, to celebrate coming together, to celebrate that collaboration. And also, as most of you know, we're in the middle of this extraordinary international art project where people collaboratively, creatively, magically have created new original pieces based on the theme Bridging Heaven and Earth, and we have them here. And we try to show as many as we can on the shows. We have special shows about the art project. And the art project is, again, an opportunity for us all to come together, for those creative acupuncture points around the planet to heal the heart of this planet. That's the only real issue here. When can we heal the heart of the planet and heal each of our own hearts? And that's what this celebration is about. So we have 2 extraordinary paintings from people who have turned paintings in from all over the world, Christine Cradaville and Greg Lunger. So, join with us, join with Gloria, join with join with these artists, join with these musicians, and let's celebrate this life. And anything that is not celebratory of this life, anything that's separate, anything that's exclusive, it's time we left it behind and we moved into the infinite and the inclusive and the love. So join me in a short meditation, and we'll start with a Kate Wolf video, and then Gloria's going to be with us, and please come and celebrate with us. Okay, thank you. So, actually, let me just say one thing that, I've probably said this before, but I mean, to do 200 shows and to do it with volunteers over a 12-year period, I mean, most of you know that television is done with lots of people, lots of technical people, lots of creative people, and Bridging has been just gifted with dedicated, creative, talented, professional people year after year after year. Usually it's my face you see or a guest or 2, but, sitting around me, sitting in the audience here, putting the Bridging show on all over the world are literally hundreds of people. And their dedication is magical. So the first video tonight is Kate Wolf, Give Yourself to Love. And it's just Kate Wolf, Give Yourself to Love.
kind friends all gather round. Something I would say, but what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside. Strangers are as family, loneliness can't hide. You must give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love, give yourself to love. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love, give yourself to love. Like a seed, and love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. And love comes when you are ready, love comes when you're afraid. It'll be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. So give yourself to love is what you're after, and open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love, give yourself to love. You must give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to tears and laughter, and give yourself to love, give yourself to love.
Hi everybody, welcome back. So give yourself to love if love is what you're after. So thanks for the Wolf family for allowing us to show that incredible video of Kate. And the artwork you see now is one of the pieces turned in for the art project. Christine Cradaville did it, reunification. You'll see the intricacy and the power of it is just extraordinary. So Christine, thank you for sending it to us, and thank you for sharing and collaborating. So we're on the set with Gloria. We're really honored to have you for our 200th show.
Well, thank you. I'm really thrilled to be here for the 200th show, and it happened by itself. We didn't plan it.
It was amazing, though, that we said which day could you do, and then when I counted out, it was the 200th. You were supposed to be here.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, really. So for people who didn't see the show you were on, a few years ago, I mean, the whole experience of your life to bring you into, as I described, these heaven letters. Why don't you just talk a little bit about, your quest and your travels? And she asked me to ask specific questions. I'm asking the broadest question.
Well, this is fortunately is one I know something about.
Okay.
Well, I was not brought up with any religion. I had no awareness that I was a spiritual being. It didn't occur to me. And that was for most of my life. And at some point, well, I figured out once there were about 6 major influences. I started meditating, and through that, I began to have a clue that we're all spiritual beings. There was a point at which I really desired to know God and to know that I know God. I should probably back up a little and say my family was Jewish, and to my mother, who had been born in Russia, Christ was not respected, not thought well of, and she considered him the cause of all the trouble that the Jews ever had. Okay, so at some point, a friend of mine gave me a picture of Christ. And this was the picture cognized by Sai Baba from a photograph of the Shroud of Turin. And it was a beautiful photograph, and I loved looking at it. I had it on my coffee table. When I would be by myself and really look into his eyes, I would cry. And this was very sweet, crying. Actually, a publicist once advised me not to tell this to anyone, so I hope no one will tell anybody.
No one
here.
watches the show anyhow.
Okay.
It's fine. And then the studio audience is sworn to secrecy. Whatever's said here never passes.
So this one time I'm by myself, like any other time, looking at the picture, looking into his eyes, and he came out of the picture. And he said, "Gloria, I have been seeking you for a long time."
Wow.
I said, "You've been seeking me?" He said, "Yes."
And that was your initial response, was that spontaneous and that clear?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And he said, "Yes, I have been seeking you for a long time." And then he receded back into the photograph. It was an experience, and I was left with an understanding. I can say the words now, but at the time it was truly an experience. And it is the knowledge that I received was that the seeker and the sought are the same. And it was more than words. Okay, so that was...
That there is a oneness, in a sense. That there is that connection.
The person who asks the question is the one who answers it. Who is seeking whom?
Right.
Christ has been seeking me, and I didn't know I was seeking him. I sure didn't know.
Right.
Or seeking God.
Right.
Then I had it, by chance, I saw the movie Jesus Christ Superstar on my daughter's TV, and I was enthralled with it. And it was more than a movie. It was, I was getting messages from the movie. I cannot say what exactly the messages were, but I had to keep watching it, and I watched it 130 or 135 times, and until it was done, and then it became a movie again. The next thing that happened was I, by chance, came across Godspell on TV also, and it was the same thing. And near the second time I watched it, near the end, when Jesus is saying goodbye to the people and he takes off their makeup, and I blurted out, "I will never leave you again." Now, where that came from, what it meant, I don't know, but those words blurted out. Probably the next thing was that I read A Course in Miracles, which I had been trying to read unsuccessfully, just couldn't read it. And then finally I could, and I read it like a page turner, like it was a detective novel, and I just read it fast. Later I went back and read it 3 times and did the workbook twice. I think it had a great influence. Later, when I was preparing for God writing workshops, I just at random took a page or 2 of A Course in Miracles, just open to wherever I did, and there were so many references to hearing the voice of God, and that I hadn't consciously observed at the time. Also, at some point here, I had an experience where it's like I'd be reading A Course in Miracles and hear about ministry and kind of get the message, like Gloria, when you have your ministry, this is somehow I was sensing, and I was thinking, oh no, I don't want to have a ministry. And ministry was a foreign word to me. Okay, at some point, a friend loaned me this little book called, in French, Lui et moi, He and I. And it was some lady, a nun, I believe, who would write questions to Jesus, and Jesus would answer. And primarily her questions were, I'm not worthy of you. And the answer was, yes, you are. And these were very short questions. And, somehow the book was fascinating. But when I finished reading it, I thought, well, I can do better than this. And so I started to try doing it. And something happened. A wisdom beyond my knowledge would come through. And then, and that was major. I didn't, as everyone who starts God writing, they want confirmation. Is this real? Or am I just doing it? But there were things that I could not have said, could not have thought of. And so the next thing that happened was that I somehow started sending heaven letters to people. And so subscribers grew, from 8 to 16 and now to over 2,000. And if I did not have the newsletter, would I sit down every morning and do it? If there weren't people waiting for it and giving wonderful feedback of what it meant to them, I don't know. I don't know that I would have kept on doing it. And then the next thing, and I don't know if I've counted the numbers accurately.
There were 19 already, and you said 6. No, but let me ask you something.
Yeah.
When you talk about confirmation, now at the beginning of every letter, heaven letter, it says God said.
Yes.
So at some point, you're getting this information. We know a lot of people channel or get information from archangels, a lot of different sources.
Yes.
And how did it come out? Did you ask that question? Who is this? Where is this information coming from? Who is this? How did that confirmation come?
My intention was that I was talking to God. That was my intention. At the beginning, I would ask personal questions, something about me, my life, and so forth. And it wasn't in the format that it is now. At the beginning, I did sometimes hear from Christ. I remember once hearing, and I didn't know who it was. It wasn't some subtle way. I knew it wasn't the same voice. But now it's always God. And actually, if you've read Power versus Force by David Hawkins, he sent me a beautiful letter, and he explained that it's the voice for God that I hear, and that none of us in the human nervous system can directly hear from the energy of God without disintegrating. And so after a while, I didn't even ask the question. I didn't ask for confirmation. At the beginning, I asked a psychic friend, for confirmation. I didn't get it. She didn't give it to me. She didn't say no, but she didn't say, yes. So like everything, it eventually comes from within ourselves. There's the confirmation. And what qualifications I have no idea. What my credentials are, I'm doing it. That's all I can say. And I've learned that anyone can do it. Everyone can do it. And I'm proud to have had workshops where everyone does. And the final thing that I did want to mention was the workshops. I mean, whatever, I'm learning so much from them, and I'm gaining so much from all of this. The experience of God writing itself and the heaven letters, my whole life, I am not the same person. My life is not the same as before. You can't God write every day without being affected and learning something. Now, some people will say to me, aren't you arrogant to say you hear from God? You know, who are you to hear from God? And if God is talking to us all the time, I think it would be more arrogant for me to say, I wrote these beautiful things, and I know I didn't. It's like I read them, you know, I hear them subtly.
You call yourself a scribe, that you're basically just writing it. You're
I
hearing
take-
it and writing it.
I take it down, and God has called me his typewriter, his typist.
Well, and as of now, they're over. Didn't I see something just recently that was the 2000?
Well, it's more than 2,000 because it took me a long time before I decided to number them. So there's a whole
Oh yeah, we
bunch.
talked about the hidden seed
There's
scrolls.
There's a whole bunch that aren't
No.
numbered.
You know, I bet you people would love to hear you read one now. I know you have a CD where you read a lot of them, or read
Yes,
various
thank
ones.
you.
Why don't you read one?
I happen to have a book here.
Yes, I know. I
And it's
saw it here.
opened to a heaven letter called, "If I can give you the sun and the moon, then what can I not give you?" Beloved, I have told you not to take things personally because it is your ego that makes things personal. It is your ego that singles you out. But now I will tell you that there are some things that are personal to you. The rays of the moon enter your bedroom at night. They are meant personally for you. The sun's rays fall on you during the day. Breezes blow on you. These are personally for you. Awareness of this personalness does not address your ego. It addresses truth. The love of the universe is precisely for you. It is not ego to think that the tides pull you. The tides pull you, and you pull the tides to you. It is not ego to think that the universe is for you. When you know that the universe is for you, then you know the reciprocity between you and the universe. You are for the universe. You match each other. You are a balancing act. It is not ego to know that the sun shines on you, that the moon's rays personally enter your heart, and that air is yours. Through these, God tips his hat to you. All of these and many more are signals to your heart from the heart of the universe. You are a juggler of the moon and the sun. You soak up their rays. Their rays permeate you. You embody them. You are the moon and you are the sun. Whose are they if not yours? They are only a few of my gifts to you. If I can give you the sun and the moon and make them yours, then what can I not give you? When the rays of the moon walked into your bedroom tonight through your window, they awoke you to their personalness for you. They knocked, so to speak, and said, "Your moon is here for you," just the way a cabbie might announce, "Your cab is here." Like you, the rays of the moon want to be noticed. They want you to know them and know their giftedness to you. For the sun and the moon, they are my messengers to you. Their message is, God loves. Their message is, God loves you. And now you signal that the message is received and accepted, and that you know the meaning and wonderfulness of the message you received and accepted, and you give thanks for it in your acceptance. You have always received it, but you haven't always noticed it. Why is that? Your ego fools you that you want to be the center of the world's attention, but not God's. Ego makes you afraid of what you would have to give God in return for his attention, that you would have to give him your personal identity as a token, and that when you would, then you would vanish from your own recognition. It is true that you won't recognize yourself when you accept my love for you. In that reciprocal moment of lighting up, you know my light and your light so well and so intimately that you are out of yourself, or finally into yourself, and your previous false identity means nothing at all to you. You don't even know why you ever had to have it, or what it was, or what you even thought it was. When you step over, you have stepped over. When you have come to me, you have come to me, and that is sufficient. You are sufficient unto yourself. Tonight the moon woke you with an important message from me to you. Remember that message during the day. The moon follows you no less by day. The rays of God's messengers are established within you, and you also shine those same rays, whether you know it or not. But it is good to know it. It is good to know your affluence. Whose are you, if not mine?
That's beautiful. You know, I mean, so many mornings, you know, I open my, you know, email and, you know, the heaven letters there. And of course, I think of you because I know you, you know, so well now. But just, you know, you start reading those things and literally one after the other. It's just simple and inspiring. It's really beautiful, you know. And, you know, we get here so many books and things that are, you know, complex and divided and divisions and layers and all the things that are complex, and always the heaven letters are really so simple and so beautiful and so inspiring. So, and actually maybe on the second one, I'll read one of my favorites about oneness.
Oh,
you know,
good. Oneness, yes.
All right, so maybe what we'll do now is have the second video. This is the Rainbow People. Bless the People. It's an extraordinary video. Words and music by Windsong. Again, you know, bless the people. So we'll be back with Gloria. Thank you.
Bless the people, bless the people, bless the people, bless the people, bless the people whose hearts are
everybody, welcome back. So wasn't that a beautiful video? Bless the people, the rainbow people, the rainbow children. Beautiful. So, and the picture you're seeing in between Gloria and I is called 7-Eleven. It's from a good friend of Bridging's, Greg Lunger. I think he takes pictures and puts them in Photoshop and does this incredible stuff with them, and it's just really a happy, beautiful, Greg Lunger-like picture. It's great. So we're back here with Gloria. Welcome, Gloria, again.
Thank you.
So every morning, I mean, basically you get up and you sit down and this information, this heaven letter God said starts coming through you, or how would you describe it?
Well, I sit down, ready for it. It's my intention to receive it. I don't know what it's going to be about. I don't know what it's going to say. And it comes. And I may, do 3 paragraphs and I don't know what's coming, after.
I mean, does it usually come one a day, or are there days that 5 come, or days when none come?
Okay, no, well, I do it every day. I intend to do it every day. I think if I waited for the inspiration, I might not do it every day.
Right.
However, sometimes 3 might come, or 2, or I can do 1 in the morning as I do, and then I'm doing dishes or something later, and there's an impulse, and I go back and do another. But I make sure that I do 1 a day. Right. I don't know what would happen if I didn't.
Right. I mean, there have been times when you were injured, and
okay.
and you didn't do any for a few days. I mean, how did that work?
This is true. I was in the hospital. I had an accident, and I was in the hospital, and I was heavy on morphine. So no, I did not, and nothing did happen.
And when you started doing it again, did like a rush come, or did 1 come a day, or how did that work?
There wasn't a rush.
So it just started back as if you had never missed them.
Yes, and they came while I was still on morphine, but I wasn't as heavy on morphine.
Right. And did you see a difference in the way the heaven letters came through?
No.
No, because basically it's just coming through.
There's no difference. Now that I'm visiting here in California, I did 1 in San Diego under funny circumstances. I did 1 in Claremont under, working with a computer that wasn't easy for me to work with.
Right.
And it's fine. It's the same. And if I do it by hand, it's fine. It's the same. When I'm doing it, I don't always know how good it is.
Would you say, I mean, I've read a lot of them, and, it's hard to say because they really kind of go all over the place. So actually, there's a 2-part question, kind of.
Okay.
I feel like I'm on a talk show. It's like, see if I can remember both parts. Or by the time I get to the end, if I can remember either part. Sometimes, do you still do it where you answer personal questions?
Yes, I do. And that's a different story because it's very focused, and I do know what it's about. Mm-hmm. It's an answer to a particular question. So
you will sit down at a certain time and say, here is the question, and did the answer always come?
The answer always comes. Sometimes that impulse comes and I have to answer it sooner than would have been convenient for me or that I had planned. And sometimes I think, oh, well, I know the answer to this, and I don't. And I don't at all.
And the second part of that question is, would you say, I would say, as I said at the opening, they're simple and they're, basically about love and inspiration and lack of separation, and we don't really know what we are and we're bigger than we think we are. But I mean, if you could say, and you know them obviously better than I do, are there a set of what you would call themes or like the underlying message or the underlying, how would you look at that?
I believe they're all about love, and it's like a diamond with many facets, and God comes in from, slices it so many different angles. They're all about love, but not love as often it's thought of as love. It's, for instance, he has said that all the problems of the world come because we don't know how loved we are.
How loved we are. How
loved we are. And then recently in a heaven letter, he broke love down. Like, to try to love, we can't do that. It doesn't work. And he said it's appreciation and gratitude, and that we can intend when we get up in the morning that everyone I see will be beautiful to me.
Yeah, that was actually just recently.
Oh,
right?
was it?
Yeah. Yeah, you get them like a week before they.
Actually, it's about 2 weeks now.
Wow. Actually, I said I would read one. This is one of my
Oh,
favorites.
will you?
Yeah. Would you like that? Yeah.
Yes, I would.
Okay, this is called The Great Mystery. This was not too long ago, July 2nd, 2006, and there are a lot of them. I always pick them out and say, this is what was I like. And then when I knew you were coming, I said, well, I'll pick a bunch out, and I'll pick one, and maybe I'll get to read it. And this is the one that is here and now, and it's really a beautiful one. The Great Mystery, God said, I am a heartbeat away. I am not even a heartbeat away. I am within your pulse. Your heart beats with mine. We are so intimate, beloveds. We are oneness. Oneness is not just a pretty term I use. All words fall short. No word can convey the depth and breadth. Even the one word love becomes just a word. What encyclopedia could begin to reveal its meaning? Words do not begin to touch their meaning. And so with the word oneness. The quality of one, a poor description of what is supreme. One is not a number. Oneness is the most. It is the innermost. The best a word can do is invoke a resemblance of its meaning and hearken you to its soul. Oneness is a mutual association, but of course to be oneness, it cannot be an association, but wholeness. It is fullness, it is completion. But how can oneness be complete when there is nothing incomplete? How can we be inseparable when there is no separation? The great mystery, however, is that you can believe in aloneness. You are perhaps more aware of loneliness than oneliness. How can that be? How can my beloved children believe more in what is not than in what is? How can my children be God blind? Colorblind is nothing. God blind is nothing too, but it is everything. How can my children be God deaf when I am speaking my love at every twist and turn of life? How can I not be heard? How can you not hear me? You may think the miracle is to hear my voice. The amazing thing is when you do not. How can you not feel my touch? The amazing thing is when you do not. How can you be thirsty in the middle of a reservoir? How can you imagine you are on dry land when you are afloat? How can you be sad in the midst of joy? How can you ever be anything but the love that you are? How can you feel vacant when you are fullness? How can you be surrounded by a feast and feel hungry? Why would you abstain? It is not politeness that would have you abstain. Perhaps you are waiting for a signal before you eat. The signal was given long ago. I said, dig in. I said, eat all you want. There is more where this came from, I said. I give more than tokens of my love. I give my love. I never withhold it. If I did not withhold it, then it must be you who does it, in which case you deny yourself. What a game you play. You play false, not I. I give you all the dice. Roll them. I give you all the cards. Deal. I give you all the good in the world. Take it. Make it visible to all and to yourself. Rest the juice of the orange, the nectar of the peach, the beauty of life. Rest the exquisite oneness from the plethora of the world. Be oneness. Represent me today. Look in the mirror and with my eyes see the one light we stand in. O holy light that penetrates your heart. O holy light that emanates from your heart. O holy light that absorbs and radiates and above all complications stays simple. Oneness is simple. The very nature of oneness is simple. Oneness is not complex. Oneness is not loud. It is not many-speared. It is not trident. It is oneness never severed. It is incapable of being severed. Oneness cannot be undone. It was never tied. It was never twain. It was always oneness. Will you accept that you are oneness of the one universe and all that it is made of? That you are this vastness of oneness that wraps itself in a coat of many colors.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
Yeah, who wrote that?
Not I. You know, not I.
Not I and I. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? You know, sometimes it's interesting because, you know, I probably read that, you know, a couple of times over the last couple of days. And every time I read it, it's like I get, you know, like tears in my eyes are broken up in like different spots in it.
And
It's amazing.
And it's wonderful to read them out loud too, just even to yourself.
You mean I? No. So I mean, do you feel different? I think I asked you this on the last show. Do you feel differently when you're doing them? I mean, you're puttering around the house, you're doing what Gloria does, and you know, you're doing the normal human things more or less sometimes. And when you sit down with the intention to have these heaven letters be the scribe for that, be the typist, do you feel a different energy, a different vibration? How do you?
Well, something is different, but it's a very tiny switch, you know, just
Subtle.
very slight. And it comes, and it comes. And a heaven letter like that takes 20 to 30 minutes, that's all.
I mean, so you're just sitting there typing it, more or less.
Yes, I'm not vacant. I mean, my mind is working. I hear it and I'm aware. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm definitely not in a trance. I can answer the door if I have to.
Right.
And be interrupted and come back. I can be very sleepy. Sometimes I wake up 2 or 3 in the morning and I can't get back to sleep, so I go down and do the heaven letter, and I may be really sleepy and wanting to get back to bed, but it comes. It doesn't matter.
No. So, I mean, we talked a little earlier about the theme and how love and, you know, maybe the misconception about love that we take as humans. Love is, you know, love country, love family, love religion, love sons, daughters, mothers, children. I mean, the love that comes through in the heaven letters is more of a, not that that's separate out of that. You would love all those things, but the love is not indivisible in a way. The love is not separating in a way. Yes. Oh, I warned you about answering my long questions with a yes. Is there anything more that you care to share than yes with that, or should I just go on?
Well, I'm not sure what she said.
That's perfect. No.
It was too complex.
Yeah, no, it was like I read a thing about being simple and I went immediately to. In other words, like, you know, we identify with certain things. Like I've told you that, you know, this idea we have that we're going to be probably doing sometime in the future is that, you know, there's a lot of identification in human conduct and human experience of, you know, I'm in this family, I'm in this country, you know, I live in this, I'm part of this religion, I root for this ball team, I'm this sexual preference, and all those identifications. So, and somehow, although they don't necessarily have to, they end up separating people.
Yes.
You know, one against the other, one better than the other, and all that in human experience, it doesn't have to, but it seems to, at this point, still do that. So, that we were going to do this thing that, call it home of the infinite. So if everybody's got to identify with something, although you probably don't, you can be love and motion. But if you're going to identify with something, let it be infinite. That we're all going to identify with inclusion and infiniteness. And when I read the heaven letters, that's the experience I get, in essence, that we're all infinite, and the infiniteness is inclusive, includes everyone and everything.
I think.
If you say yes again.
No.
Oh, okay, all right. That wasn't one of them.
I think it's like you could see something, you could meet someone and you don't love them, you know, you don't adore them, but you love them anyway. You know, there's something special, and the idea is that God is within each one of us, and it is a vaster view, you know, it is a more far-seeing. It could be someone. And I think we've had this where someone really annoys us a lot, and then there's a point somehow we love them anyway. And it's more like that. I don't think it's a question.
So whoever
what
asked
did I
that
say?
question, whoever asked that, obviously wasn't a good interview, or whoever would even think of such a thing.
Well, what did I say?
What did I ask? So, in essence, what I get at them is the root is how do we get to that like one love, the one heart, the one, beating vibration that in the human body feels like love. And, in essence, that's the purpose of life, is to have that experience and to become almost merged with that experience. Would you say that that was, your impression of, after doing 2,500 of these?
I think that it's just little by little. Our thinking has to change, obviously. And God says it's not a technique. We don't need a technique. At the same time, every time we read a heaven letter, some of it sticks. And we don't have to consciously remember it. It's nothing we study, we don't memorize. But little by little, our perception changes. Our view of the world changes. Our thinking changes. Our consciousness rises. It's going to anyway. And as our consciousness rises, so does the world's.
And so, why don't you talk about, like, specifically, you've been doing this God writing for, what, like 10 years now?
Close.
And how would you say, what clear changes have you seen in terms of openness, in terms of experience, in terms of how it's changed you?
Well, I used to take everything very personally. And I won't say that I never do.
I was hoping.
You know better.
Too well. No, a lot better, actually, even in the time I know you.
Yeah, no, and when I do have something, where I'm offended or my feelings are hurt or whatever, it doesn't last long. I recover much more quickly. Another thing I'm aware of is that everything used to have to be perfect according to my standards. I made great demands on myself and on other people as well. And most everyone didn't come up to them. Right. And now the people I know are brighter, and even it's the same people.
I understand.
They're brighter, they're brilliant. And at the same time, I'm not demanding so much. Things don't have to be the way I want. And it's okay.
That's okay.
So I'm more relaxed, I think, is what we would say.
And happier and more content.
Absolutely. Rarely is there something that we'd call a bad day. It's so rare that when it has happened, I'm amazed. It's like, I forgot what this was like.
Wow. So we probably have maybe a minute or so left. If there was like one thing you wanted to tell the multitudes, if something that you felt, or if you're scribing at the minute, if you're typing at the minute, in 20 or 30 seconds, what would you tell the world?
I don't know.
Well, you have about 15 seconds left to figure it out, or else I'll say something.
This goes to show how ignorant I am, and all this beauty and wonder comes through me just the same, because I don't have a clue how to answer that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Really, it's simple. Because really there's no answer, in a way. So, but if anybody wants any information about Heaven Letters Workshop, Gloria, the books, Bridging, give me a call, Alan, 805-687-2053, 805-687-2053. Celebrate with us, celebrate your life, celebrate the magic, celebrate the love, be in the love. We love you. Good night. God bless you. Thank you for coming. Good night.